Right, something different today. We're doing a little tip video. This will be for paddling, stand-up paddling, the Barmouth pub run. I had to think of them. It's early, I can't help it. Yeah, it's just some tips for going up the estuary, up to the pub and back again, basically. So what do we need to know first? Basically, where to go from. You've got two options. One is Barmouth, obviously. As you can see, we'll just turn around. Barmouth is over there. That's on the left side of the estuary as you're looking from the sea. You have two options there. You have the main car park and parking along the front. Either option is going to cost you £5 for 8 hours, I think. Which is okay, but lots of crowds, COVID, do you really want to? Yes, you've got pubs, you've got restaurants, chippies, etc. It's up to you, really. You can launch from, where can you launch from? You can launch from the jetty or the slipway, which SUP Barmouth do. And you can also, there's, if you look over here, excuse the fag, there's a jetty coming out, and inside of there there's another there's another beach. You can go from there. Alternately, you can go across the estuary to where I am and start off in Fairbourne. There's a miniature train goes from Fairbourne and goes up the peninsula to basically a train station on the peninsula. But by the train station there's a car park. You can go park there for free, and I just find it a lot easier. There's a slipway right near the car park. The sun's getting in my eyes now, and yes, it's much easier, cheaper. Yes, there's no restaurants nearby, no pubs. There is about a mile, half a mile down back down the road, but that's it. I much prefer to leave from there. It's just find it much easier. Timing wise, you want to go on the incoming tide, so after low tide has peaked. So basically you want to leave about 2.5 hours after low tide. But you also got to take into account that you need to get back again, and to go from low tide when it's peaking and back again, it's going to be a space of about 7-8 hours at least. So make sure from low tide, 8 hours on, it is going dark, because if it's going dark you're in trouble. You don't want to be going down the estuary in the pitch black. If you think it may be going dark, take a head torch with you, stick it in your bag, put that on the way back, put that on the way back. I'll go into a little bit more detail now for you. Okay guys, we're going to do this as quickly as possible, or at least try. And first thing we want to do is find out when sunset is for the day that we're going. In this example, we're going to do August the 13th. I've googled the sunset time previously, and all you have to do is type in Barmouth sunset and then the date you want, and it'll tell you. Today's is 8:42, I think, if I remember rightly. So once we've got that, we need to allow an hour before then for twilight. Remember, sunset time is the time the sun hits the horizon, not when it starts to go dark. It'll start to go dark about an hour before being 7:45. So we want to be back by 7:45. As I've said previously, try to allow at least 8 hours for your trip. This includes the time from low tide up until you get back. This being the case, 7:45, 8 hours before then would be 11:45. So what we're looking for is basically a low tide before 11:45 on this day. So if we go down to the bottom, have a look at the tides, you can see it's high tide at 2:55. Goes down at 9:20 to low tide, then up again 13:35 to high tide, sorry, 15:35 to high tide, and then down to low tide again at 21:45. So remember, we needed a low tide before 12 midday basically, and the only one we've got is here at 9:20. So this is the tide that we're going to go up the estuary on. As I've said previously, we want to leave 2.5 hours approximately after low tide to start our way up. So in this case 9:20, 10:20, 11:20 and 10 to 12. It'll take around 2 hours, maybe a bit longer, depends on the wind. That's another thing you need to check, but we'll go into that later just in a bit. So approximately 2 hours or so to get up to the pub. That means you'll be getting to the pub around 2 o'clock, maybe 2:30, somewhere around there. But as you can see, high tide isn't till 3:35, so you're going to have plenty of time to get a drink, food, eat your butties, have a pee, whatever. I suggest you come back a minimum half an hour after high tide, probably a maximum of an hour after half tide. In this case, an hour after high tide would be 4:35, so allowing 2 hours to get back would be around 6:35, giving you plenty of time to get back and enjoy the sunset in a couple of hours time. Brilliant. As I said, the only other thing to worry about is wind. As you can see here, we're on this middle bar here, which is mostly blue with a green at the end. This is the wind speed. As you can see, throughout the day here is pretty damn low, to be fair. It's pretty good. Yes, it's 10 mile an hour here, but as you can see, that's 4 AM in the morning. You're going to be paddling from about 12 here. As you can see, wind speed 1.7 miles per hour, and end of the paddle 3.1. That's great. I wouldn't recommend doing this paddle in speeds of over 10 mile an hour, no matter which way the wind is blowing. It's doable, but it'll be hard work. 5 or 6 miles an hour is a little bit of a workout depending on which way the wind is going, if it's coming straight down the estuary or up. In this case, on this video, the wind was about 6 or 7 miles per hour, but unfortunately when we were going up the estuary it was facing against us, and when we came down it was again facing against us. It had turned around when we went to the pub, which is sod's law, but there you go. But I wouldn't want to do it any higher winds than that, so make sure the winds are 7 or 8 miles per hour or below, 10 at the absolute max. Any more, don't bother. But as you can see, these winds here are pretty damn good. That'll be a good day to do it tomorrow. Other than that, I think that's it. So just to summarise, check when sunset is, go back an hour, then go back another 8 hours and find a low tide that is before that time, before that 9 hours in total previously. That way you'll get back in plenty of time. If you think you might get back and it's starting to get late, or you might want to stop off somewhere on one of the beaches coming down, put a head torch into your dry bag just in case. Then if it does start to go dark, put on your head, switch it on, people can see you in the estuary. Right guys, that's it. Let's get back to the action. Okay, so now we've sorted our time, we're leaving, making sure we can get back before night time, and we've got our place to leave from. What do we do now? You paddle up the estuary. Again, 2.5 hours after low tide has peaked. There's a slipway, just go onto there, go up the inlet. Might be a little bit hard to start off with because water's coming in, so it's going against you until you get to the main estuary. It's not far, 200 yards, that's it. And then go up the estuary. Word of warning, under the railway bridge. The railway bridge, it does get very turbulent when the tide is coming in and going out. So if you're a little bit unsteady, I would recommend you get on your knees to go under, because it does go fast. It's a little roller coaster, bless it. It's good fun though. But once you pass there, it's easy all the way up. I'd stay on the right hand side for most of it. Then the last turn that goes around to the right, you go on the left hand side where it's deepest. It takes about 2 hours to get to the pub. You'll have a space of about half an hour, depending on what time you get there, how quick you've been going up, what time high tide is. When you get there, basically have a look, see what time it is compared to high tide, and then leave about half an hour or so, 3/4 of an hour after high tide has peaked, and you'll be golden all the way back. It'll be fine. Is there anything else I need to tell you? Depth wise, you don't have to worry about depth being too deep. You're going to be more worried about being too shallow, basically going up, because you can beach quite a few times if you go the wrong way going up and coming back down, to be fair. But yeah, don't worry about the depth. If you do fall in, it's very shallow and it's all sand on the bottom. You usually see quite a few fish as you're coming back down as well, depending on where the sun is. It's a good bonus. Yeah, that's about it really. Just come down, make sure the weather's good, make sure the wind isn't too bad. Leave 2.5 hours after high tide, or low tide, sorry. And that's it really. Just make sure you got enough time to do it, go up, come back before dark. And put a disclaimer here, I'm no expert with SUP, but this is just from what I've garnered myself doing this trip. So without further ado, we'll go for a few highlights of the trip. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, add in the comments if you enjoyed this. If you think I should do more, please say so. If I can improve anything. Obviously talking, not very natural, clumsy, hey, I'm not a great speaker, but yeah. Anyway, please like, please subscribe, please comment, let me know you like this video and I might do some more. Thank you guys. Look at this beautiful morning. lovely.